Hello, David. It is just such a pleasure to talk to you about our upcoming presentation of your terrific new work, O Nata Lux. Thank you for joining me today. Yeah, I'd just like to ask you a couple of questions, perhaps, just about the work and how it came to be.
Okay, thanks so much, Michael. Yeah, that's great.
So, David, I recall it was after a concert of the Tudor Consort a couple of years ago. I think we did a Russian concert, and I remember talking
That's
to
it.
you afterwards. And it was your daughter Anna was singing. Is she singing in this upcoming concert as well? And then I was just delighted to find not very long afterwards this work. So can you tell me about how it sort of came to be?
Well, um, that's it's a good question. I can give you very, very long answer to that, or I can give you a very brief one. Um, I've my personal experience singing in choirs, for instance, goes back, to the age of 7, when I was a treble and started my singing with St. Peter's Anglican Church in Takapuna. And of course, I got very used to all the Anglican repertoire. And I, from there, went to the cathedral under Peter Godfrey and Tony Jennings when he followed. But one thing that's always fascinated me, I think, what was the music of the Tudor era. And when I came to your concert, it wasn't so much Tudor music, it was this extraordinarily beautiful um, Russian music with these extraordinary uh, uh, great depth, to the choral sound, which is largely attributed to a very low bass parts, of course, and thus the construction of a kind of sonority that one doesn't often hear in choral music. And along with my love, really, of Tudor music, being a great fan of, Tallis and Lesso and, a lot of them. um, I've um, I've written a number of pieces uh, in that kind of what I would call neo-Tudor style, um, and thought, well, oh, I'm so impressed with the Tudor concert, and I was so moved by that concert. It really did have quite a profound um, effect on me. I thought I must write them something, and I think it came together relatively quickly. And O Nata Lux, which is this lovely, 10th century sort of office hymn, for the Feast of Transfiguration. I mean, I'd never said the words before, and I've set many Roman Catholic texts in the past, as you may be familiar with one or two of them.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I mean, the words are so beautiful. And it's, for the Lord's LAUDS service. It's normally sung at morning. It's one of the morning Lord's things that's done. But in this case, of course, it'll be done in the context of a concert. But I was, because of the nature of the words, there is a profundity about these words, which, interestingly enough, I was just reading the beginning of the book of Hebrews this morning, and there's something in there about the radiance of the glory of God being reflected in the person of Jesus. And I thought that these words in O Nata Lux, which speak of, O light born of light, you know, Jesus, Redeemer of the world. And I thought, well, here's maybe a wonderful opportunity to somehow paint in music that you know, that sense of you know, the glorious manifestation of you know, Jesus being the light, you know, of the world. And so these words really from this very old hymn seem to kind of fit. And it was that I think drove me to consider 16 parts, simply because of the sonorous potential, and also the orchestrated kind of colours one can get, you know, with using the different voice parts in it. And I'm so grateful that you took it on. I was
well, I mean,
very
we are
thrilled.
just absolutely delighted to have and honoured that a composer of your stature has entrusted us with this.
Oh, well.
You mentioned the one or two Roman Catholic texts. I mean, of course, the very well-known work of yours is Beata Virgo,
Yeah.
12-part, absolutely beautiful piece. And I see a lot of that in O Nata Lux as well, the sort of overlapping
Yes.
the sort of Hocket idea of the words being broken up between the parts,
Yes,
that sort of thing. But one question I have for you, Beata Virgo and another terrific work of yours that deserves to see the light of day, the Te Deum, both written for 12 voices, and which is of course 3 sopranos, 3 altos, 3 tenors, 3 basses.
Yeah.
O Nata Lux is for 4 sopranos, 4 altos, 4 tenors, 4 basses. And I think to myself, is David Griffiths trying to up the ante here?
Oh, it's a funny
Is
question.
this a conscious challenge to yourself?
No, no, not really. No, because I've written other pieces in 16 parts.
Right.
I wrote a setting of Salve Regina, but well, in a sense, kind of a double choir, 2 8-part choirs. But that's, you know, another 16 parts. It's a very beautiful ending to that piece. I don't know whether you're familiar with it, but yeah, that's. And then I wrote a Tantum Ergo. I think that's either 16 or 20 parts. I can't remember now. But so I've certainly played with I've certainly played with multi-voice choral pieces. They're probably not done often, you know, they won't be done often by amateur choirs because they're quite difficult, and you need the voice numbers, and you know there's quite a lot of, you know, choral balance and you know, voice balance one has to use, you know, to make it effective. Otherwise, they can just end up being mushy, you know. But you know, obviously, with a choir like yours and your expertise, I'm sure, you know, those things can be brought out. Those subtleties can be brought out.
I hope we can do it justice, but because
I'm sure you will.
Just a terrific piece, and I think also in the acoustic of Wellington Cathedral of St. Paul, that will be a wonderful experience. So we're really looking forward to having you down, and hopefully the weather will be better than it is at the moment. And we're again just so thrilled to have this opportunity and to give this premiere of your new work in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's been a pleasure to write it, and I look forward so much to the concert.
Thank you.